So Cal, all the things that we've been talking about made me reflect on an interesting fact I noticed in looking over the history of the college. And back in the late 60s, early 70s, the college membership had begun to decline. But with the rise of certification, there was suddenly a sudden increase in the membership, driven perhaps by the introduction of residency training and this new recognition of competence in the discipline. And then it started to level off again. And probably beginning in the early 90s, began to see an increase, but certainly in the latter half of your term, a huge increase in membership. There's probably a lot of reasons for that, but I wondered if you could comment on your perception of why this second sudden increase has occurred and how the college contributed to that, perhaps.
Well, it's a really fascinating area, and of course it was. Watching our membership numbers has always been a significant thing for us, as it would be for any organization. We did go through. We maintained our membership, by the way, I think throughout our history. In terms of our increases were not occurring at the same rate, but our attrition rates were never that high. We always were within around 1.5 to 2% attrition over a given year. And we were always concerned even about that, but that was where we maintained ourselves. But several things started to happen over the last half a decade or a little bit more. One was, and we had talked about this a little bit earlier, the concern about physician shortages in the country was something we were part of a collaborative advocating for a need for us to produce more physicians in order to take care of our aging and growing population. And it took about a half a decade for the message to get through to those in the system who need to support, to provide the supports for this to happen. But around the year, somewhere around 2003, 2004, we started to see increases in medical school enrollment. Medical schools, which were putting out about 1,500 graduates a year, got closer to 2,000 and to 2,500. There was also more support for encouraging medical students to be aware of family medicine, primary care, and to be selecting this. There were the efforts within the medical student population, which we took a lead role in, but was certainly roles by the medical associations and others, to bring family medicine to their attention. We established medical student interest groups. Our college offered medical student scholarships and leadership awards. We had a medical student section that we developed for students across the country who were potentially interested in a career in family medicine. We provided positions on our board for medical students and because we felt it was so important for us to have their voice and to also have them feel some ownership and sense of belonging in our organization. And so medical student numbers and student choices of family medicine increased. Our residency position numbers increased across the country. Distributed learning started for family medicine with centers for residency training in many more places and communities than there were before. And as people finished this training, all of them became certificates if they succeeded in our certification process and became members of our college ongoing. So there was a definite increase because of the increase in residents that were graduating in family medicine. There was also an increase because there was an influx of foreign or international medical graduates, a significant proportion being family doctors, and we hoped that we could welcome them into our organization, some of them to become eligible for through a practice route for our certification. We had a route that we opened for experienced family physicians across Canada who were not certificates but had been in practice for over a certain number of years and met other criteria to actually achieve our certification through a time-limited non-exam route that gave us several hundred more members through that. We had conditions improving in the practice environment with better support for family doctors, and the word that had been out there that medical students were hearing that if you become a family doctor, there's this huge income disparity with other specialists. There still is an income disparity that may be a bit more than it should be, but it has narrowed because we're supporting new models of primary care and family practice, and graduates, the medical students and new graduates, are attracted to these, and they're selecting family medicine in larger numbers. So all of these things played to our membership numbers increasing. And then, of course, we started to use your picture more in promoting family medicine, so that attracted many more people as well.